Hello and welcome to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat. Now, is insurance a part of your compensation package? Well, today most companies are becoming employee-centric and introducing various benefits for employees' betterment. Employee benefits related to insurance is an added advantage for companies in the war for talent and the battle to become the preferred employer. Employees also consistently rate benefits as one of the key factors in job satisfaction. In India, the importance of these insurance benefits is now slowly catching up, and in the coming years, it will further influence the corporate's ability to attract and retain highly qualified people. To help us understand the benefits of employer-employee insurance, we have with us Yashish Dhaya, CEO and co-founder of PolicyBazaar. Welcome to the show. Yashish, now explain to us what is this employer-employee insurance and what are the benefits?
An employer-employee insurance is where the employer pays the cost for a group of employees, and the insurance is for each individual employee. There's a certain amount of insurance that comes out. Now, in terms of types of insurance that one can have, one could have a life cover, so usually known as group life cover. You would have health insurance, known as group medi-claim. You can have various formats of retirement solutions or saving solutions, known as gratuities, etc. And some of these can be time-bound, some of these can be, base savings oriented. So you can have all of that. All of these can have employee contributing a part of it, but a bulk of it is usually paid for by the employer. And that is why most of these are known as employer-employee insurance. Most of these would terminate the day the employee leaves the employment of the organization.
Now, are these subjective, are these insurance policies basically for corporates?
They are for, so corporate is a terminology, but they are for organizations. They don't have to be for large corporates alone. They can be for sole proprietorships. They can also be for SMEs. So any form of organization can take these policies. Usually the number of employees you need to have is about 15 to 20 as a minimum before you can start having these policies. However, some of these are compulsory, so your gratuity.
And that's my next question actually. So is it mandatory for companies to have group insurance covers? And,
yes.
Because some companies are large, some are small. How does it really work?
Sure. So if you have more than 15 employees, and if an employee is earning below 15,000 rupees, then you must contribute towards something known as the ESI, which is the employee state, which is a state employee insurance scheme that is operated, and every company has to mandatorily contribute towards that. However, it is no longer mandatory once the employee has an income of higher than 15,000. So you may have any number of employees as long as they are more than 15,000 rupees per month is the salary. It's not mandatory to contribute towards it. However, for the gratuity, so that is for health insurance. For the gratuity, which is in a way a form of your retirement or a savings pool that's being created, there it is mandatory if an employee has been with the organization for longer than 5 years to provide a group gratuity, and the day they leave, they will receive some benefits out of that.
Right, and let's look at what are the benefits for both the employee as well as the employer. Now, you get tax breaks out of it.
Sure.
The employee definitely benefits from these insurance plans. And, we'll get into other aspects of this as well. But, what are the real benefits of a company when it gives insurance covers?
So as far as the employee is concerned, the benefits are quite straightforward. So when an organization takes out a group medi-claim, if the employee has a medical condition as per the conditions of the contract, which is quite encompassing, up to that limit, that an individual can take the benefit of being in hospital. If he goes to hospital or she goes to hospital, they won't have to pay the costs. For the group life cover, in case there is a death on while the employee is with the organization, there will be a benefit to the employee. There are certain accident covers, certain liability covers. Those benefits will accrue to the employee. Group gratuity, if the employee covers more than 5 years, then those benefits will accrue. As far as the organization is concerned, it's in case an employee of an organization does have a medical emergency, In many cases, the organization has to anyways usually does support the employee anyway. So having such a cover essentially saves the organization from taking on that cost on its own and having the insurance take care of that particular cost. In addition, it does give a bit of a morale boost to the employees to have that. Companies also have a tax break. So on all investments for certain group insurance schemes, you do get a tax break on the investment made in such.
So what would you say is an ideal cover from an employer's perspective? And also, what should the employee be looking at when he or she looks at the benefits given by the employer?
Yeah. So from an employer's perspective, the employer must definitely make sure that there is a health cover. Most people in India don't have an individual term cover, and I think it's nice if the organization can provide that. Once these two are taken care of, having a gratuity scheme, having some kind of a saving scheme, and maybe also some personal accident covers, if those can be taken on a group basis, they come out to be quite low cost, and they can be quite beneficial for the employees. From a cost perspective, you can even have the employees contribute a bit, and many a times the employees wouldn't mind because the benefits are such. From an employee's perspective, all these benefits are great, but they are not a substitute for your own policy because these only last as long as you're employed, and the moment your employment is over, these do not last. And more importantly, if a pre-existing disease of some sort does become a reality during that phase, then getting your own health cover, etc., can become fairly difficult. So it's always beneficial to have your own health cover, have your own term plan.
So what you're saying is employers, the insurance given by the employers may not be totally sufficient.
It may not be totally sufficient. I think it's usually the bare minimum.
So that's a buffer, but one needs to one needs to really look at it and say that, all right, I need this for my family.
Absolutely.
Separately from
Absolutely. Also, most of such covers would not cover parents. So you anyways need it, but you have to have your individual cover because your individual cover is your own cover for your own life. See, health insurance, etc., are policies which are going to last you an entire lifetime. These are not 5-year, 10-year policies.
So how does it work in terms of the finances for it? Does an employee end up paying a part of this from the compensation package, from the annual salary package, or does he or she get it completely from the company? How are these usually structured? What is the balance there?
Different companies do it differently. Most companies would usually not charge the employee for medical cover or for the group life covers. But some do seek a contribution, and it depends on the company's health and and the employee's ability. For the savings-oriented plans, where gratuity etc. comes in, a little bit of contribution from the employee is usually taken. Up to about 12% of the contribution is going from the employee, and a majority usually goes from the organization.
Right, Yashish. Well, it's time for a short break, and we'll continue our discussion on this very crucial subject, and we'll also take your questions. But you can write your queries at ask.policybazaar.com, or you can tweet us at policybazaar_n, and we'll see you shortly after this break. Keep watching.
हम मशीन्स नहीं बनाते, बनाते हैं टफ, a better life, a better world. परिवार करीब लाते हैं, चुराते हैं वो खूबसूरत पल, दूरियां मिटाते हैं. हम मशीन्स नहीं बनाते, बनाते हैं
a better life, a better world.
Panasonic. It's got the power you need. It's got the space you deserve. India's most awarded car ever. The Renault Duster. Expect more. Get more offer from Renault.
लाज कब लगता है? वो पहला ब्रेक लाज लगता था, वो पहला रोल, वो पहला घर,
पहली गाड़ी ये पहली गर्लफ्रेंड बचपन की गलियां लाज लगती थी, लेकिन आज वही सब छोटा लगता है। जो हाथ लग जाए वो क्या लाज, लेकिन लाज बनता है उन्हीं छोटी चीजों से। स्मॉल मिलाते जाओ, लाज बनाते जाओ। सीग्राम्स रॉयल स्टैग मेगा म्यूजिक, इट्स योर लाइफ, मेक इट लाज।
ये कंगन खरीदने से पहले आपने BIS स्मार्ट चेक किया था? तो फिर इसकी शुद्धता का क्या भरोसा? सिर्फ BIS ही असली शुद्धता का प्रतीक है। ये मार्क हर गहने की जांच के बाद सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अप्रूव्ड लेबोरेटरी ही लगाती है।
My Gold, My Right, a movement initiated by Kalyan Jewelers.
हम सब में कृष है।
मैं भी कृष हूँ। कृष ने कहा था।
मेरे पास भी है।
मेरे पास भी है।
मेरे पास भी है।
Do you think I'm naked? I'm not. Because I'm wearing this unique combination of glycerin, propylene and other molecular awesomeness found in this fantastic bottle of Old Spice, which complements my unreasonably good looks and all my muscles. Tea?
मम्मा मैं सिर्फ कार इंश्योरेंस रिन्यू कर रहा था। बिना कंपेयर किए? Do you all buy insurance without comparing? PolicyBazaar.com पे जाओ, पॉलिसी साइड बाय साइड कंपेयर करो और पैसे बचाओ। PolicyBazaar.com।
आपने पासपोर्ट बनवाया है? तो तुम लोग जापान कैसे जाओगे? इसकी चाबी जापान का ही है ना?
Only your fingerprint can unlock it. Godrej eBio. अब मुसीबत से डरना कैसा?
Every day, treat your skin to a fruity milkshake with vitamin E. New Avail mixed fruit plus cream soap. अरे चालू होने वाला है, गाड़ी क्यों बंद कर दी?
गाड़ी चालू ही है। देखो देखो देखो। India's most refined diesel engine. Let your desire show.
Sachin was surrounded by all the Pakistani players, and even in that situation, some words were exchanged just to push Sachin down a little bit psychologically, and his shirt was soaked in blood, absolutely.
Javed Miandad was sledging even at that point, and Imran actually intervened and said, go away from here.
If father had to get up for a moment, come back to his life, and he would have told Sachin the same thing. Please go back and play. You don't have to sit here mourning about these things.
He was crying. He was crying all through. And he says, if there were as many cameras as now, they would have picked it up that I was crying all day. I just could not resist. Even if I was fielding in the boundary line, I could not resist tears.
Welcome back to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat, and with me is Yashish Dhaya. Now, Yashish, we've been talking about employer-employee insurance. Now, how should an employer structure the package, structure the insurance given to an employee? Not every company has the advantage of huge HR divisions. How should they go about it so that the interests of the employees as well as the employer is protected?
Yeah, I think it has to look at the type of employment force it has, the family structures people have, etc. I think a medical cover is by far the most popular cover, and also the one that gets most utilized because it has the most frequent utilization by that. And I think that becomes the bedrock of the plan. And above that, it becomes more of a choice that HR or the group can make, whether they want to take a term cover or whether they want to go more for the savings side. I think it's prudent to take both the term cover and then go in for the savings side. Some of these plans are far more lucrative from an investment perspective, and they also give tax breaks both to the organization and to the individuals. So certainly I would say it's a conversation that must happen between the senior people in the organization, the 3-4 senior people in the organization. But it must start with the hierarchy of medical first, accidents next, life cover third.
So a
and
certain
finally,
priority needs
there's a
to
certain
be put in
priority,
order.
and I think the investment is the last priority.
Right. All right. So it's now time to take viewers' questions. We've got Nandan from Kolkata, and he says, I have a home loan and the possession will be given to me late next year. Should I buy a householder's policy when the property is under construction? Now, please explain the pros and cons. First explain to us what is a householder's policy.
A householder's policy is essentially a term cover. In case there is a death of the householder, the loan amounts, the loan EMIs get covered through the householder's policy. It's essentially like a decreasing term cover, because over time, over a 25-year period, whoever takes a home loan, their home loan total payable does keep coming down as they pay off the installments.
Right.
But it's usually there is lower availability, in the sense there are fewer organizations who are offering this, and it is usually clubbed along with the home loan for the sale, making it a little more expensive. It's usually a lot cheaper to take a pure term cover. They could take it for the entire duration without decreasing, and it will still be lower cost than a householder's policy in most cases. So I would suggest that Nandan go in more for a pure term cover than for a householder's policy. And the pure term cover will be able to take care of this eventuality as well.
Right. We've got Tara Watts, and she says, are there any critical illness plans specifically designed for women? Also, is there a checklist we need to ensure before we purchase a critical illness plan?
Certainly, Tara, there are lots of plans out there which do cover the women more. There are 35 critical illnesses, and some of these critical illnesses are obviously, like ovarian cancer, etc., are obviously more, they obviously affect the women, and hence taking a women specific critical illness plan makes a lot of sense. These are available. There are 5-6 companies that have them available. Just search around and you'll see them.
Thanks, Yashish. We've got Jayant with us from Bhopal. Go ahead, Jayant, with your question.
Hi, I bought a 6 years back and I've continued till late. However, when I took the policy, I was a non-smoker, but since last year, I've started smoking. Do I have to inform my insurer about the same when the policy is renewed this year? Will it increase the premium? What are the repercussions? Can I have it if I conceal the fact?
So let me say, ironically, the non-smoker is now a smoker. What ramifications does that have on his policy?
I think a health insurance plan is an annual plan. So as it comes up for renewal, it's important that at the next renewal it's declared that that Jayant has started smoking. That may have an implication on the premium. Most likely will have an implication. The implication could be between 5 to 15%. But it depends if I haven't got the full medical history. If Jayant has certain diseases which are more which get more worrisome along with smoking, then certainly there will be there could be an issue where Jayant may have to not be able
Can they actually go ahead and deny the insurance cover?
So because this is a voluntary act of smoking, there is a slight possibility, because the entire terms have changed. There is a possibility that the cover is not provided because it's a new type of cover altogether. But very, very unlikely. Very unlikely, in the sense 99% of the time, no.
All right. We've got Ritu from Mumbai, and she asks, can valuables kept in a bank locker be covered under the householder's policy? Do I need to declare the value to the bank and the insurer?
Well, if it's kept in the bank, then it cannot be covered under householder policy. So there are two kinds of policies when you take a home insurance. You either take a household the house goods cover,
right,
or you take the structural cover. Things which are inside the house are covered under.
And this is a locker in the bank.
So this is in a bank, so this cannot be covered under.
So I guess maybe the question is, should she inform the bank? Because we've heard a lot of incidents happening that valuables have disappeared from the bank lockers. I mean, is there a provision? Is there an insurance cover?
There may be. You could get it insured. See, everything can be insured, but it will be very specific, and it will, if it's a large value item that is being kept in the bank, then certainly there can be an insurance cover taken for it. but she'll have to, check with the specific insurance companies.
Right. We've got Pooja from Ludhiana. Pooja, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, hi. I'm 27 years old and my husband's 30 years old. We live with our parents who are 62 and 59 years old respectively. I want to take a medical cover for all of us. So can you please tell me which would be the most cost-effective way and why? And would it be a better idea to take an individual plan or go in for a family floater?
So what would the ideal health cover be for that family?
I think they should take out three separate covers, one for the husband and wife as a family, and for the two parents, they should take out separate individual health insurance covers. The reason I say that is the kind of diseases that people in the 60s are likely to face are very different from the kind and frequency of diseases is very different for somebody in the 60s than for somebody in the 30s or in the early 30s. And as the next 10 years progress, these health insurance policies will be quite decoupled, and decoupling them makes a lot more sense rather than impact the entire family policy just because of certain diseases that happen in the 60 plus.
Right, Yashish, that's all the time that we have on this edition of Policy Bazaar. But you can share your queries at ask.policybazaar.com or tweet us at policybazaar_in. And we'll see you next time. Keep watching. Bye-bye.